Lanús player downplays the signing of Lucas Paquetá. Flamengo still has a chance to sign the striker, according to a journalist, before the transfer window closes. We also bring you a lot of other information here, including an interview with Samuel Lino, where he identifies a problem that could be causing this bad phase. He had a good debut at Flamengo, but then he couldn't keep it up at Flamengo. We're coming in like always. Hey guys, red black greetings. This is Flamengo. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel. If you're just arriving, I invite you to follow, like, and share on all platforms. If you're on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe down below, turn on notifications, and leave a cool like on the video. We always remind you that you can get your official Mango products and help Flamengo here on YouTube shopping. We always try to select the jerseys we're wearing here, for example, this one, the long jersey, the new 2026 jersey, and you can find them in the sizes you need. And man, a lot of people sometimes say, oh, I went to the store and couldn't find it and all that. Here, we already select what's not sold out, so you can find it right away, including the ones from Brazilian, starting from RR, 90RR, 89RR, 90. So you find only official jerseys. I only select official jerseys. I'm going to start our video here, right? Also remember that you have Arrudo's Caravan, so you can travel with Mengao and also be present at Maracanã with the ticket included, right? And the hospitality of Arrudo's Caravan. Also remember that you can lose weight in a healthy way with more hair with the My Slim program without hair loss, all right? You have medical supervision, it's amazing, and there's always a Mais Cabelo near you everywhere in Brazil. Look at the player, right? Defender Carlos Izquierdos, defender for Lanús, commented on the amount Flamengo paid for Lucas Paquetá. Look how crazy this is, guys. They have one. It's impressive. The Argentinians with the Brazilians saw this situation too, right? We're going to bring here Veloso's lip reading, right, man, who does a fantastic job. But you can really see how much the Argentinians have hate, right? The Argentinian players hate the Brazilians, right? It's impressive. Discrediting Lucas Paquetá, you see, it's not just Vini Júnior, right? Both of them, who used to play together at Flamengo, are discredited by other Argentinians. So look at that. They just paid 40 million euros for Paquetá. But that's because of where he used to play. And there are a number of factors that determine that market value. However, soccer is 11 against 11, and each player needs to connect with the one next to him, work together, and follow a game plan. There are many factors that have nothing to do with the individual value of the player. Often, players are priced according to the club they play for. The Brasileirão is one of the biggest leagues in the world, so it's understandable that the athletes who stand out there play for Palmeiras, Flamengo, and Fluminense. Besides that, they are valued at much higher prices than other players out there, or even here at Lanús. So, man, you're trying to say that Paquetá isn't worth all that, right? I really thought it was an expensive signing, you know? I think 42 million euros is a very, very high amount for a signing from a South American team. But Flamengo was able to pay. Flamengo signed him, right? The player just came from the Premier League now, the guy, right? Just to be clear, there are players there at Lanús, right? 11 against 11, we get it, but you know, as always, right? You remember, right? The coach of Racing also, before Flamengo eliminated Racing, everything he said, that's just how they are, right? So we also have other situations here to share with you. Look, it's about Matias Vinha, right? He keeps getting criticized by River Plate fans after what was actually a pretty good start, right? The player who belongs to Flamengo and is on loan to River Plate is being heavily criticized on social media by River Plate fans. Okay, look, we have here this comment, the worst I've ever seen in my life, right? The other one, Fausto Vera and Matias Vinha, are genuinely the worst players I've ever seen in my life. It's just that you're bad, Matias Vinha. The other one, Matias Vinha, that's what you do. Other players like Verviescas, Viagra, Pareshuram, Sorin, and Marcelo, okay. Matias Vinha is the worst player my eyes have ever seen. I even feel sorry for him. The other one, how awful, that's Matias Vinha. Vinha, it's shocking, the worst I've seen at River. Yeah, really. So the fans are upset with this signing of Matias Vinha and with Matias's first performances for River Plate. So now we're going to talk about how Samuel Lino explained his physical exhaustion and responded to criticism about his start at Flamengo. Okay? In an interview with Globo Esporte, he said the following: "If you have a bad game or go through a stretch of 3 or 4 bad games, the criticism comes. It's normal. We're not robots programmed to always be at our best every day. Sometimes we play with pain or with a personal problem at home. These are things that, whether we like it or not, affect the game and our performance, but I've never lacked confidence or anything like that, okay?" He also responded to criticism about a lack of confidence and so on. Then he also said the following: "It's been a hectic year. It's hard to talk about it because I don't think it's right. That's it. In my view, it's criticism that's a bit too much since you just came from winning 2 important titles. You haven't had a proper preseason and all that. Even with all that happening, I think the criticism is excessive. Are you complaining about the criticism? Samuel Lino, let's improve in the next games, let's grow." I've already said here that the criticism is really excessive, but Samuel Lino himself isn't able to play his football at Flamengo. That's the reality. When you have a lot of games and you're fighting for titles, the emotional burden is very strong and it's not easy for the body to handle it either. The fields in Brazil aren't easy. It's normal for this period to be tough because of the physical preparation. Sometimes we notice it during the games, but we're improving and soon Flamengo will be flying. He talked about the pressure of playing for Flamengo again, being signed at the time as the most expensive in history, 143 million. Felipe is very important because he made an effort for me to be here. He was the coach and the one who pushed the board. Being here today, I thank them for the trust and the opportunity. At the time when I was talking about coming to Flamengo, I always kept in touch with him. Being the most expensive signing doesn't weigh on me that much. The value doesn't come into this situation. It doesn't matter at all. Whether I'm the most expensive or cheapest signing, I'll always give my best. Now, this status of being the most expensive signing is with Paquetá. Now, the ball is with Paquetá. Samuel Lino made that clear. We also have a statement here from Flamengo to share with you. I'm going to talk here about the Vini Júnior situation. I want to start by saying that we'll get back to the topics about the transfer market. Look, we're going to follow Veloso's lip reading here. Oh, why? Why? Yellow card for me. Then he goes to the player, to the Argentine, who called him a monkey, supposedly called him a monkey, and he calls him a coward. Cagón de merda. Shit, coward. Then the guy said, say monkey to me, monkey to me. Then the referee, why for me? Now in English, then he says this part in Spanish. He says monkey to me, monkey to me. He called me a monkey. By the way, follow Veloso with 2 L's. Killing it, man. Killing it at lip reading. And man, it's all good. I know there will be people saying that he called the guy a coward, a piece of crap and all that he provoked this. No, don't twist it. There's nothing that justifies racism, period, okay? There's nothing that justifies racism, period, all right? So don't twist it, okay? I can already see some people out there trying to twist a situation that can't be twisted. Look, we also had Vini Júnior speaking out in Flamengo as well, okay? Look at what Vini Júnior goes through. It's not just about soccer. There's a kid there who dreamed, who fought, who overcame a lot to be where he is. And it hurts to see someone being attacked simply for being who they are. His dance is true joy, it's spontaneous, it's his. Racism is not part of the game, it hurts and it can't be normalized. Vini, you're not alone, we feel it, we support you, we're with you, okay? Wrote Flamengo. Mbappe and Valverde, Vini's teammates at Real, also came out in his defense, okay? Another well-known name in football, Jose Mourinho, coach of Benfica, spoke out, right? And he ended up taking the stance of supporting the racist guy. Regretting that I spoke with both of them, Vini Júnior said one thing and Prestiani said another. I don't want to be biased. I don't want to say that I believe 100% only in Prestiani, but I can't be neutral and say that Vini told me the truth. I don't know. All I know is that until the goal, it was a great game. It happens. How many stadiums has this already happened in? How many stadiums? How many? Look, Mourinho, man, he's a player from another world. I love him. But when you score a goal like that, you should be carried off on your teammates' shoulders. The game was over right there. The game was over. And he was saying that he had to celebrate like Pele, like other players who knew how to celebrate. But Mourinho's own actions say a lot about him. They say a lot about him. Vini Júnior also took a stand. Yeah. And we had him here, look, on his stories, right? Racists are above all cowards. They need to cover their mouths with their shirts to show how weak they are. But they have the protection of others on their side who theoretically have the obligation to punish them. Nothing that happened today is new in my life or my family's life. I got a yellow card for celebrating a goal, and I still don't understand why. On the other side, there was only a poorly executed protocol that was useless. I don't like to be in the spotlight in situations like this, especially after a great victory. And the headline should be about Real Madrid, but it's necessary. And everyone out there, right? Lewis Hamilton posting, "We're with you." Yeah, it's man, Valverde, him together, their careers. So that's it, guys. People try to normalize it. They come to that is the answer because he provoked, right? So that's it, right? It's really unbelievable that Flamengo held a training session this afternoon, the last practice before facing Lanús in the South American Recopa. The training will be at Boca Juniors Training Center. Our team is already there, right? Full focus at 3:30 post-meridium local time, right? Flamengo is having their last training session there at the facility. Marilia, right? Boca Juniors Training Center in Buenos Aires, okay? Flamengo and Lanús will face each other at 9:30 post-meridium tomorrow for the first match of the Recopa final. Let's give it our all, Flamengo, right? We really need this, right? Go in with full strength and already try to get a good result. Now in Argentina, okay, look, we have some other situations to bring to you. Regarding the Vini Jr. issue, Bruno Andrade also said the following: "I didn't see a single black commentator analyzing the case. 100% men, 100% white. It really shows the structural racism that exists in Portugal." So he's also complaining about what's happening there? Yeah, us too. Here's the news that came out in Europe saying that Gianluca Prestiani could face severe penalties if they determine that he's guilty in this situation. It's breaking news. It's related to Federación Internacional de Football Association, and he could be punished by them. Look, I'm bringing here some news from Ekran Corner, right? That election is still there, with the possibility of being negotiated. There are talks with Bragantino, right? They are progressing, talks are still progressing, and Flamengo and Red Bull Bragantino may reach an agreement. The player is 21 years old, a forward. He's also of interest to New York and Atlanta, right? He's from Major League Soccer, and there are also Premier League teams interested like Everton and Brentford. They're also keeping an eye on signing Alassian, okay? So could Alassian still leave Flamengo, maybe to Red Bull Bragantino, or to Major League Soccer teams, or even Premier League teams like Brentford and Everton? The thing is, Flamengo prefers teams that allow them to keep part of the rights, so Flamengo doesn't just get a sell-on clause, right? Because in the Premier League, Flamengo can't keep part of the player's rights. Okay, so that's the thing. That's an issue that could be a problem for Flamengo. So Flamengo prefers other leagues, right? Yeah, actually, guys, Mauro Cesar brought some information about the possibility of Flamengo signing a striker, right? I wanted to discuss this. I spoke with Mauro yesterday after the mess there about what Chuka Kifuri said about him, and he responded again. I was discussing this issue with Mauro regarding Yuka. these crazy, absurd stances. And Mauro did really well, right? He's handled this subject really well. Yeah, it really wasn't a foul, and anyone who asks for that kind of foul is actually against soccer, or do they just want engagement? And then Mauro made a post here about what we were talking about, right? We were talking yesterday about Samuel Lino, right? In fact, we brought it up here in this video, and then Drezinho posted about his Libertadores final. It was really good. Alan's terrible match, who at that point in the year was Palmeiras' best player, was largely due to Lino's excellent performance. He gave it his all. Now he needs to regain his confidence to go for the offensive one-on-one. Yeah, I had noticed that. Samuel Lino, very good. Yeah, in the Libertadores final, he's doing really well. He was largely responsible for shutting down Alan at the decisive moment, and people don't remember that. And Mauro Cesar posted here that it's just a matter of time. Yeah, a matter of time about Samuel Lino, and I agree. I agree with Mauro Cesar about Samuel Lino. He's still going to make it. He had some good moments, just like we had good moments from Emerson Royal, which is obvious, right? He still hasn't convinced yet, but we've already had some good moments from Emerson Royal too, okay? Let me discuss the striker situation, since Mauro Cesar mentioned a quick, specific point. For those asking, is Flamengo still going to sign a striker before the end of this transfer window? No. The names that are being mentioned are unlikely to be signed, especially in this transfer window, for example. If a Premier League club is relegated, Tati Castellanos may be considered again. As mentioned, Caio Jorge isn't coming now, and Richarlison would only arrive mid-year, if at all. However, there's concern about fan rejection. So there are a few situations. Flamengo is indeed evaluating names for the attack. They're monitoring, but is there anyone lined up? No, but Mauro Cesar brings some interesting information. Football is on the agenda. They even reposted it here. Look, Flamengo's football department. They believe that the possibility of signing a new center forward before the transfer window closes on March 3rd is around 50%. So there's still a 50% chance Flamengo will sign someone. There's a 50% chance Flamengo will sign someone before the transfer window closes on March 3rd. Is there already something in progress with a forward right now? There's no information on that, but Flamengo is still monitoring and looking for an option for the attack. Is that right? Who do you think should be Flamengo's choice for the attack? Comment here. Also comment that you stayed until the end watching this video. Thank you very much for your company. Red Black greetings. This is Flamengo. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications by clicking the bell, and leave a cool like on the video, all right?